Have you ever wondered who's really in control of your life? Could there be a wiser, more enlightened aspect of you that is trying to guide you? This is what we call the higher self. It's a concept that's been embraced by spiritual seekers, philosophers, and thinkers across the world and across time. But what does it really mean? Your higher self, as it's often described, is like an elevated version of you. It's you, but with a broader perspective, unclouded by the everyday concerns that often preoccupy our minds. It's believed that this higher self holds a deep well of wisdom and understanding and is constantly trying to nudge us towards our best possible path. But how does it do this? And how can we better attune ourselves to these subtle signals? Today we delve deeper into understanding the higher self and how it attempts to get our attention. The higher self is a fascinating concept that has roots in various spiritual and metaphysical beliefs. This intriguing notion of a higher self has been present across a multitude of cultures and spiritual practices, each with their own unique interpretation of what it represents. In essence, the higher self is perceived as an elevated or enlightened aspect of our being, a version of ourselves that exists beyond the confines of our physical bodies and minds. It is a part of us that is connected to a higher, more profound wisdom and understanding. Ancient cultures often revered this concept. For instance, in the Hindu tradition, the Atman or the self is considered to be eternal, pure, and blissful, representing the divine within us. Similarly, in Buddhism, the concept of Buddha nature is seen as the inherent potential within all beings to attain enlightenment. In Western philosophy too, we find echoes of this concept. The Greek philosopher Plato, for instance, proposed the idea of an eternal soul that exists in the realm of ideas and is in constant pursuit of truth. Even in modern psychology, Carl Jung's theory of the self suggests a higher, more integrated aspect of our psyche that combines both our conscious and unconscious elements, leading us towards self-realization. So, across cultures and philosophies, the higher self is seen as a beacon of wisdom and insight, an internal guide that directs us towards our highest potential and purpose. It's like having a personal mentor or guide that's always with us, seeking to steer us towards truth, love, and enlightenment. Understanding this concept of the higher self is not just about intellectual comprehension, it's about feeling that connection, that sense of oneness with a higher power, a more profound wisdom. It's about recognizing that we are more than just our physical bodies, our thoughts, our feelings. We are cosmic beings, connected to an infinite source of wisdom and love. The higher self, therefore, can be seen as our inner compass, our ultimate guide. And as we journey through this life, it is this higher self that can help us navigate the ebbs and flows, leading us towards our true purpose. So how does this higher self communicate with us? How does it try to get our attention? Well, let's dive into the fascinating ways our higher self might attempt to reach out to us. One of the most common ways the higher self communicates is through signs. These signs can be as subtle as a recurring theme in your life or as obvious as a billboard on the side of the highway. They are often symbolic, requiring a level of introspection to decipher their true meaning. The key here is to stay open and observant. Dreams are another powerful medium for the higher self. When we sleep, our conscious mind takes a back seat, allowing our subconscious and higher self to take the wheel. The dreams that seem to carry a weight, a sense of depth, or an unusual clarity could be messages from your higher self. They can often provide insight into our deepest desires, fears, and life situations. Then we have intuition, that gut feeling that guides us, even when logic might suggest otherwise. This is perhaps one of the most direct lines of communication from our higher self. It's that internal compass, guiding us towards what feels right and steering us away from what doesn't. It's important to trust this intuitive guidance, even if it doesn't always make sense at first. Lastly, let's talk about synchronicities. These are meaningful coincidences that seem too perfectly timed to be mere chance. Like suddenly thinking of a long-lost friend and then bumping into them the same day. Synchronicities can be seen as winks from the universe, nudges from our higher self leading us towards certain paths or experiences. In all these ways, our higher self is constantly trying to engage with us, offering guidance and wisdom. It's like a friend who's always there, whispering advice in our ear. It's up to us to listen, to be alert and attentive to these subtle nudges and hints. Being attuned to these signs can help us understand the messages our higher self is trying to convey. The conversation is always ongoing, we just need to tune in. Why should we pay attention to our higher self? What difference does it make? You might find yourself pondering these questions, and they're not without merit. The higher self is often seen as a beacon of wisdom and insight that can guide us towards our true potential. Imagine your life as a ship sailing on the ocean. The higher self is like the North Star in your personal universe, always there to guide you when you lose your way. It's an essential part of you that holds your innate wisdom, your true desires, and your highest potential. And just like the North Star, it's always shining, always guiding, even when clouds of doubt and confusion obscure your vision. Being in tune with your higher self means having a deeper understanding of yourself. It's about recognizing your strengths, acknowledging your weaknesses, and striving for balance. It's about learning to be kind to yourself, to forgive yourself for your mistakes, and to celebrate your victories. It's about acknowledging the past, being present in the moment, and setting sights on the future. The higher self is not about perfection, but about growth. It's about learning, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself. It's about being authentic, being true to who you are and what you believe in. Connecting with your higher self can bring about profound self-improvement. It can help you break free from negative patterns and beliefs that hold you back. It can provide you with the wisdom and courage to face challenges, to embrace change, and to strive for your dreams. And ultimately, being attuned to your higher self can lead to a more fulfilling life. It can bring about a sense of peace and contentment, a sense of purpose and direction. It can help you establish deeper connections with others and with the world around you. So, why should we pay attention to our higher self? Because it's a part of us that holds our true potential. It's our guide, our mentor, our compass. By paying attention to our higher self, we can lead a more enlightened and purposeful life. Now that we understand the concept of the higher self and its importance, how can we tune into it? Well, there are numerous ways to connect with that higher aspect of ourselves. One of the most effective techniques is meditation. This ancient practice allows us to quiet our minds and open our hearts, creating a clear channel for the wisdom of our higher self to come through. Whether you choose a guided meditation, a silent sitting, or a moving meditation like yoga or tai chi, the key is consistency. Make it a daily habit, and over time you'll find it easier to tap into your higher self's guidance. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. This involves paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment without judgment. By being fully present, we can start to notice the subtle signs and messages from our higher self. You might experience these as gut feelings, sudden insights, or a sense of inner knowing. Pay attention to these moments of clarity. They're often your higher self trying to communicate with you. Journaling is another fantastic way to tune into your higher self. By writing freely and openly about your thoughts and feelings, you can gain valuable insights into your inner world. You might be surprised at the wisdom that emerges on the page. Some people find it helpful to write with the intention of communicating with their higher self, asking questions and allowing the answers to flow through their pen. Other spiritual practices like prayer, affirmations, or energy healing can also help us tune into our higher self. These practices can create a sense of inner peace and alignment, making it easier for us to access our higher wisdom. Take some time to explore these techniques and find what resonates with you. You might find that one practice works better for you than others, or you might benefit from a combination of techniques. The important thing is to approach this journey with an open heart and an open mind. Remember, your higher self is always there, waiting for you to listen. So, are you ready to embrace your higher self and start living a more enlightened life? This journey we've embarked on together is about discovery and acceptance. We've learned about the higher self, understanding its profound existence within us. We've explored how it communicates, often subtly, nudging us towards growth and wisdom. We've grasped the significance of this inner voice, recognizing its role in guiding us towards our true purpose and potential. Now, it's time to fully embrace this enlightening presence. This is not a one-time event, but rather a continuous process of self-awareness and introspection. It involves tuning into our intuition, acknowledging our inner wisdom, and trusting ourselves. Remember, your higher self is not some distant, abstract concept. It's a part of you, a reflection of your deepest wisdom and truth. It's your companion on this journey of life, ever ready to guide and support you. Your higher self is calling, will you answer?